Hello friends, welcome back to another episode of Tegan talking about her mental health. This time I'm in my bedroom. I can't sleep, so I thought what better way to spend my night than talking about depression. But yeah, before we get started in this topic, I just wanted to say another big thank you to everyone who sent really nice words and messages over the past month. It's so appreciated. Like, I can't even articulate how much it means to me, and how much it helps just knowing that I have that kind of support. But yeah, so and to the people that have reached out and told me your stories about your struggles with depression, anxiety, the honesty and the strength that takes, and yeah, just the fact that I'm helping you start this conversation and bring all this kind of stuff to the forefront of conversation at the moment. It's exactly what I wanted to happen. But yeah, again, just as much as it's helping you guys, it's helping me. But yeah, just a bit of I guess a trigger warning for today's video. I'm going to be talking about my experience with depression. But yeah, with that definitely comes some suicidal thoughts. So yeah, I guess if you're sensitive towards that kind of thing, I mean, you don't have to not watch it, but just, I guess, be warned, for lack of a better word. But yeah, so yeah, today I thought I would talk about what depression has looked like in my day-to-day life, how I knew I was depressed, and yeah, I guess what medication I'm on, and yeah. So I've been diagnosed clinically, so by a doctor, with depression 3 times. 2 times I've been put on medication. But yeah, the first time I was 16, I had just gone through a really rough breakup. I was miserable, put on sertraline and it worked. The second time was when my dad was sick. I kind of just picked myself up because I wanted to not be depressed while my dad was dying. Yeah, the third time was at the start of this year, when I got back from the States. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about the other 2 times because I feel like I'm a very different person to who I was when I was going through depression the other 2 times. I've learned a lot, and it's not that I feel it's not that it's hard to talk about those other times, but I just feel like they're not, I don't know, I just feel like I'm in a completely different headspace now than I was back then. So yeah, I guess I'll just talk about this time. So after my mum died, I was a complete wreck for 2 weeks. Completely just grief-stricken. Grief-stricken? Yeah, grief-stricken. Was just a mess. And then after we had packed away the house and Ruben was all settled, I went back to uni and I focused on going to the States. And then I got to the States and I had the best time, just the best time. But yeah, with that, I wasn't dealing with my mum dying at all. I had denied it. I was like, no, was so known back here as the girl, whose mum and dad had both passed away. And I didn't want to be that girl in the States. And it was kind of a fresh start. I chose who I wanted to tell that to. But yeah, I kind of got to October, November, and I realised that I hadn't thought about them in a really long time, let alone spoken about them. And it was around then that I started hanging out with who was one of my friends, who is now one of my closest friends in the world, and one of the people that I love most in the world. But yeah, I started hanging out with him and spending a lot of time with him, just really having hard conversations. And it was the first time I'd done that in like a really long time. And yeah, he kind of, like asked the hard questions, and he was a very safe place for me to open up. But yeah, with that, I just realised like I had been covering this pit of like depression and all this crap. I'd just been covering it over, and it was still there, but I had just been like not, dealing with it. And so yeah, I think once I had kind of seen that and admitted that I was depressed, I was like, okay, I'm depressed again. And honestly, it was just a matter of time. I think I don't regret having those conversations with my friend, because I think if I'd left it anymore, it would have been a lot worse. So, but yeah, shout out to David. You're the best. I don't know where I'd be without you. But yeah, I think without him, once I had kind of admitted to myself that I was depressed, I was like, nah, I'm gonna wait till I get home. I had like a month or two left. I was like, I want to make the most of this time. And so I kind of, just pushed it away. And I don't regret that decision, but it probably wasn't the healthiest. But yeah, and then I got back to New Zealand, and the kind of honeymoon phase of seeing everyone had kind of finished, and I was like, okay, this sucks. I feel awful. And I was having really, really suicidal thoughts. They started off only when I was drinking, and then it kind of crept into my like every day, and it was awful. And so you got back to Rotorua, and I was like, okay, I need help. And so I went to my doctor, asked to be referred to a psychologist up in Auckland, and she put me on medication. Medication is one of those things that's very subjective. Like for some people it works a treat, for some people it doesn't work at all. But I think it's definitely something to try. And you don't have to get it right the first time. I sure didn't. I was put on fluoxetine, and it actually made things worse. And so I got switched to sertraline, and then moved back up here. I started seeing a GP up here. And it didn't really do much. It did get rid of the suicidal thoughts, but it didn't do much in terms of my day-to-day. And so yeah, I got maxed out with that. And then it still wasn't working, and I got diagnosed as being severely depressed, and put on venlafaxine. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, and that it seems to be, the thing that I've learned is that going to a psychologist and being on medication isn't going to fix my depression. Like, yeah, it's going to help, but it's going to be time, and it's actually going to be like me working on it. So yeah, at the moment I'm seeing a psychologist, I see a psychiatrist, I'm in touch with the crisis line team because of my suicidal thoughts, I see 2 GPs, I have a lot of help pouring into my life. But yeah, I guess for me depression is just a big sense of hopelessness. I often feel like this is my life now, and it's always going to be like this, which isn't true. And it's exhausting, but I have to constantly remind myself, like, no, this is just the period I'm in, and it's not always going to be like this. And I have to do everything that I can to keep myself here for when it does get better, you know? But in saying that, like, just because I'm depressed, I'm still, like, I still enjoy, like, my friends are amazing, my family is amazing, what I study is amazing. Life is still amazing, but at the moment I'm not enjoying it as much as I know as I could be. But yeah, it's just, depression for me is a very dull feeling. And I'm not a dull person, as you can probably tell by my room. So yeah, it's hard not feeling like myself, but I know that it's not going to be forever. And yeah, like I said before, it's just keeping myself here until it is. But yeah, I guess my biggest thing that I've learned with depression is that it's the hardest step, but it's the first step. Admitting that you're not okay and actually asking for help and admitting to yourself, like, I can't actually do this by myself, I have to get help. And I know that we have like such a bad rep with suicide statistics in New Zealand, and it breaks my heart because there is so much help if you just ask for it. And there's no sign of weakness. It's not weakness. Like, asking for help and saying you're not okay is a sign of strength. And so yeah, I guess my biggest advice is ask for help. Even if you don't really know if it's depression, go and see your doctor. Talk to them about it. Because yeah, like, there is so much help, and there are so many people that wanna help, me included. So yeah, if you are struggling, or if you have any questions about any medication, or like more questions about depression, please message me. I'm always down to talk about that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think next time I'm going to talk about what anxiety looks like in my life, because anxiety, depression, and the PTSD, they all kind of link in. So I'm going to try and show you how they all work together to... No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so thanks for watching and listening. Yeah, please reach out if you need. And yeah, remember to be kind to everyone, because being kind is fun. But yeah.